So this is Louis, and I actually really shouldn't do this commentary, and maybe I will wait to upload this until I have finished the Aeneas Sarkeesian video that I'm working on. I probably will do that, because I need to get that done, because I've been pushing that back and back and back. As I record this, Tom Perez, who is the former Labor Secretary for Barack Obama, was just elected as the DNC chair, and this election that they just had within the DNC, okay, it isn't a matter of a better candidate. It was a matter of a lesser of two evils, and the greater of two evils just won. Keith Ellison is in many ways a member of the Progressive Corporatist Alliance, which if you've listened to my channel, you've heard me mention that a few times already. And what I mean by that is that the way to be a proper corporatist, if you are progressive, is to not discuss issues of class and economics, and to keep things within the realm of transgender issues, of gay issues, and that. And you can be regressive. You can talk about Israel. You can talk about American imperialism, that fantasy. You can go through a whole number of issues, and you can be as regressive as possible, but you cannot go into the realm of economics and class. Keith Ellison has that issue of being both somewhat regressive and also being a corporatist. I've seen people that are progressives criticize him for being a corporatist. However, he is not the worst of the two candidates that were up for victory. Obviously, everyone was pointing to that one white woman that said, white people need to shut up and everything else, but she was not a mainstream candidate for the DNC. It was between Keith Ellison and Tom Perez. Tom Perez is a corporatist. He is a bona fide corporatist. He is someone that, during his tenure in the Obama administration as Labor Secretary, his role there was to defang and pacify unions. That was his role. When you are part of a corporatist administration, which has been many administrations in the last several decades, but when you are part of a corporatist administration, your role is to pacify any obstruction to the corporatist agenda. He does not have the balls to actually stand up and promote not just unions or union labor, but unionism. He is not in favor of those things. I'm sure if you put a microphone in front of me, he'd have a lot of lip service to give in favor of unions, but outside of that, he is a Clintonite fucking hack. He is there to serve the interests of the corporations, or of his fucking masters, in this case being Clinton. And this victory for him cements the position of Clinton potentially coming back in 2020 to run against Donald Trump. And people will, wave that away, but you don't understand this. You don't understand what it means to be a Clintonite. You don't understand what it means that they just elected another fucking Clintonite. They couldn't even go as far as to nominate a corporatist light candidate like Keith Ellison. No, they went full fucking corporatist. That's who Tom Perez is. He is a corporatist. And you can see this with the matter of low energy, as Trump would say in regards to Jeb Bush. That's who Tom Perez is. He's a pussy. He's not full of machismo. He's not a grandstander. He's not full of bravado. He's a mealy-mouthed pussy. And that's what he's paid to be. He is paid to be a fucking loser. And that is what's going to happen unless he's replaced. And I mean this, because I don't think he's competent to run the DNC, because he's just going to employ and implement all of the same fucking policies that resulted in the 2016 spectacular loss. They genuinely believe, the corporatists in the Democratic Party, they believe they should have won the White House and they should have won back Congress. And when neither happened, with me, it's an obvious example of the fact that the DNC and the Democratic Party is not a functioning political party. If you should win, and Democrats, according to the poll numbers, should win in presidential elections, both in Congress and the presidency itself, based on the fucking demographics alone, among everything else, when they should win and they don't win, that's a sign that something is currently not functioning. Because when the demographics are on your side, you should win. When the turnout numbers are on your side, you should win. And when you don't win, it is a clear sign that you are full of fucking losers. That is the fault of the campaigners and your staff members and the party. If you lose when you should win, and you clearly should have won just based on the money, if you want to go into that territory, and the money you should have won, and you lost. 96% of the time, the party with more money wins, and you lost. You lost Congress and you lost the presidency. You know, the DNC is full of fucking losers, and they just nominated loser-in-chief to their fucking party, low-energy left-wing Jeb Bush. Left-wing in quotations, because honestly, how left-wing are you if you're nothing more than a corporate shill? How left-wing couldn't you actually be? You know, it's just pathetic. And I see a lot of people out there. I know Michael Tracy, who is a journalist that I follow that's currently employed by the Young Turks, who I don't always agree with. But, you know, we can both see what's happening here. We can both see that this was the wrong fucking choice. We might disagree on Keith Ellison. I think I've seen Michael Tracy criticize Keith Ellison. But, you know, the fact is that Tom Perez was the exact wrong guy to nominate. He was the exact wrong guy to win. And he's the exact wrong guy to fucking lead this party. Because he's a Clintonite. He's just a shill for the corporations and for fucking Saudis. What is he going to do to change the party? What is he going to do to actually make it a viable party again? What is he going to do to change the vision of the party to where there's actually a fucking vision? Where it's not all about fucking identity politics, about how much we need to promote fucking college-educated white women, when that is not the majority of the fucking country demographically. So it is not a means to win fucking anything, anywhere. March all you like, wearing your stupid pink pussy hats. That is not a vision to win anything in this country. White women may be the majority demographic of voters in America, but you gotta remember that there are many, 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 if not more, white working class Republicans voting. And women, I mean. So when you have college-educated white women voting for your party, it's a lesser number, so you can't win. It sounds like I'm being patronizing, or I'm, you know, just being condescending as a means to, you know, just speak down to a party that I'm not a part of. But I am a registered Democrat, and it's like, listen, I can look at the demographics and understand what is happening. You can just see in the numbers, and I will find the fucking chart and I'll post it, that fucking white people, especially white men, are leaving the Democratic Party in droves and have been for decades. And it's like, you need to reform the vision of this fucking party if you are ever going to win another fucking office. You're not winning anything back with your current vision. You're not winning anything back by just screaming Russia. You're not winning anything by making shit up, by having CNN and all these other fucking outlets go out there and spread bullshit about Trump and Republicans. It's just amazing to me how bad things are going right now. How badly, it's like, can things actually be worse? You know, could having a social justice retard up there as the head of the party, you know, would that even be worse for the party? I don't even know at this point. Because they both have the same kind of viability. They don't really have any kind of vision. They really don't have any kind of, you know, direct action that they can take or instill in the party where it can reform it to be viable again. Both the corporatists and the fucking SJWs have an equal amount of chance of winning an election in this country, which is zero. Not at all. Nothing. No chance whatsoever. And it's like that's the only future that is going on with the party right now. With the Democratic Party, all they have is corporatism, their donors, the Saudis, the elite that represent that faction of the party, which is fucking nobody. Okay? It is such a small body of people in this country that they are inconsequential. They are not even worth representing as a party because they are that fucking small and divisive. Because they are in their bubble. They are smug, millionaire Hollywood cocksuckers. That's who we're talking about. It is 1% of 1%. They are people not worth even mentioning, let alone representing. But it's like, at the same time, the social justice impact that exists within the Democratic Party, they too have no means to win fucking anything. But to them, really, it's not even about winning. It's just about spreading their ideology. And the whole point of this corporatist angle when it comes to the Democratic Party is to win elections. That's the whole purpose of being corporatist, is to raise the most money and therefore to win fucking positions in government. When you are not capable of that, there is no reason for you to be there anymore. There's no reason for there to be Clintonite shills anywhere within the Democratic Party because they can't win anything. They lose and 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 they can't stop losing. That's why the Blue Dogs are now dead. because we've seen this in action for longer than I've been alive. Corporatist hacks within the Democratic Party, whether they are, you know, chairman of this, or they are the head of the DNC, or they are, you know, cabinet members, or they are fucking politicians running for whatever office. They don't win. They never win. They continue to lose. They continue to get fucking devastated by terrible Republican candidates themselves. I mean, it's not as though, like I've already said, the Republican Party is not better than it was. Okay? It isn't. But it's the fact that the Democratic Party insists on being nothing and representing nothing other than corporatism. You represent a fringe group in this nation of Silicon Valley millionaires, Hollywood millionaires, actors, okay? And then Wall Street dregs of society. 100 years ago, these are the people that would have been selling shit to the Nazis. That's who we're talking about when we talk about Wall Street. Fucking the most degenerative aspect to our society, in my opinion. They have no loyalty to anything other than their own bottom line. That is it. They are scum. They are nothing. They have corrupted our society and our government, and now the Democratic Party to such an extent that they are almost irredeemable. I'll try to end this here and make one last articulate point to the best of my ability before I go. It is important, as I've said already in other videos, that we try to solve this issue of the left in the West. And it is important to the right in the West for that to be the case, that they have a coherent, functioning opposition that they can disagree with. Because so long as you have corporatists at the helm and the progressives / activists being radical and violent and out of power. Now, we can talk about the matter of, you know, empowering these lunatics, but this empowering of the corporatists is having a direct result in these fucking lunatic activists getting more and more violent, more and more organized and more violent. And there's rumors of them being financed by billionaires and that, and I'm not going to get into that kind of speculation. But it doesn't help that you have people like Thunderfoot engaging in fucking nonsense arguments of, oh, well, you know, was UC Berkeley a false flag operation, blah, 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 and others like fucking, what's his face, the former, I think he was another former labor secretary for Bill Clinton, can't remember his fucking name, but it doesn't matter, I'll post it if I remember it. Going on television, you know, trying to equivocate around the fact that the left is completely collapsing in on itself in the West. Not just in America, but all over the West. It is just collapsing everywhere. And the blue dogs, the dying fucking dregs of the Democratic Party, they are just in power all the time. Just constantly being ushered out and ushered back in another form. Just with a little bit of a different tint to it, being ushered back in. And that's what we have now with Tom Perez at the head of the DNC. And as I said in a tweet on Twitter, you know, get ready for 2020. Because it is going to be the re-election of Trump. It is going to be, you know, another presidential election. And the Democrats are going to get destroyed in the midterms. They always do, and they have no fucking path forward. So look forward to that. But in 2020, they're not going to have a coherent vision. They're just going to continue on with the fucking nonsense. They never did an autopsy, and I'll ask, you know, somebody can ask Michael Tracy, because I don't think anyone's said this anywhere. They haven't done an actual autopsy on the election. They have done nothing to actually analyze what happened and why. So that just guarantees you future losses. And so, yeah, I think that's what you're going to see, unless something radically changes from here to 2020. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see 2020 happen. They're going to elect or nominate some fucking hack corporatist Clintonite, or Clinton herself, to the presidential fucking election, and they'll get blown the fuck out by Trump, who should have lost. That'll be all she wrote for the next fucking 8 years. Unless the Democratic Party changes and does so in a rapid pace, and does so in a radical manner, and not in the sense of the SJW sense, but in the sense of just purging the social justice, identity politics, dickheads, identitarians from the party, and purging the corporatists. No matter how many fucking dumpy white women you lose, you have to make yourself a fucking viable party again. You have to. If you don't bring in white working class voters, if you don't bring them in, if you don't win back the Rust Belt, you don't win fucking anything. That is just the fact of the fucking matter. And I'll just leave it there. Thanks for listening.